Anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
All right, good evening, everyone. Hopefully, everybody can hear me okay as we are here from Daytona International Speedway, bringing you the BMRL Xfinity Series here tonight as we are trying to get everything situated here for the first night of the season. Just give me one quick moment, and we'll be right with you. All right, so we got about 12 seconds to go here before they take the green. As this is a brand new series for me, it's going to take me a little bit to learn some of the drivers' names as we get set and ready to take the grid. Good evening there, Jamie Prevost and Chastity Tucker. As we're getting ready to rock and roll here from Daytona. As they are getting ready to take the grid, we'll take a look at the grid here ourselves with Scott Phelps in first, Devin Ramsey there in second, Adam Gardner there in third, Matt Telder in fourth. Dakota Ramsdell in fifth. Austin Hunt in sixth. Joseph Tucker, seventh. Charlie Hercom there in eighth. Starting in ninth position there in row number 5 is Jacob Denson and Cade Green there in the 10th position. In 11th is Connor Elliott. 12th is going to be Seth Whitworth. In 13th is Anthony Bowmaker. Jeff Pepper starting 14th. There in the 8th row, starting in 15th, is Sean Gross. And in 16th is Drew Proel. Hopefully I say that right. Chris Mayo starting in 17th. Jake Baker in 18th. Kevin Manapace there in 19th. Stephen Hines there in 20th. Tyler Hilton there in 21st. Brandon Bowmaker will be starting in 22nd. Chris Cornett in 23rd. Levy McCarty there in 24th. Starting in 25th is Paul Weckerly and Kevin Grettenberger there in 26th. So that is your starting grid here tonight as they come off pit road. We'll take a quick look here at the race info for tonight. And this is the Tri-Oval of Daytona International Speedway, located in Daytona Beach, Florida. Track is a little under 2.5 miles with a track temperature today of 80 degrees. And the actual ambient temperature of the weather is 75 degrees with a humidity of 60%, partly cloudy, and 13 mile per hour winds. So that is our forecast here tonight. Hopefully all is clear and ready to roll. As I'm unsure if I had the correct... no, I do not have the correct one up there. So sorry about that there, BMRL. We'll get that taken care of here in just a quick moment, as they're getting ready to come around and take the green flag here at Daytona. So, got some things prepared here. Unfortunately, I know one of the things that that take everybody by surprise is me being on camera and in the booth. We may go ahead and do that, but please disregard kind of my appearance a little bit. I was working on a truck before the broadcast and just kind of got into a little bit of a time crunch getting everything situated here for this evening. So if I look like I might be a little covered in grease, I very well could be, because I was working on a truck prior to the broadcast here tonight. As we see Devin Ramsey out there in that front position in that number 9 machine. And the 11 of Scott Phelps there in a second. But I think actually Scott Phelps is our leader down there on the inside. As they're coming to the start, the pace car rolls off, and here they come for the BMRL Xfinity Series as they take the green flag here this evening. And I understand that there's going to be a stage at about lap 35, the end of lap 35, I should say, here this evening to give these drivers a little bit of a break. So we'll see how this goes as they start pushing there on the top side. Scott Phelps pushing Devin Ramsey through the corner, and that number 15 of Austin Hunt holding back a little bit as they come storming by off a 2. Down the backstretch here at Daytona, everybody's still running side by side here, as looks like we got the number 43, I believe, or is that the 48 of Jeff Phelps, or I'm sorry, Jeff Peppers. Jeff Peppers back there trying to see what lane's going to help him move forward. As that bottom line's now getting a little bit of a run off of 4. But look out, here comes that top lane. They're getting a run put together as well as they're coming off of 4 now. That number, well, that's the Matt Tucker and Devin Ramsey on that top side. Really pushing together good up there on that high side as we got the 11 of Scott Phelps and Adam Gardner there on the inside as they're trying to keep that bottom lane moving forward. Everybody's still tied up real tight together. We got one kind of off pace there. That looks to be Adam Gardner as he's down there below the yellow line. Not sure if he got forced down there or not, but he's got to try to carefully bring that car back up on track as they come down here into corner number 3. And everybody's still side-by-side racing here as we're looking at the 28 or 39 of Joseph Tucker and the 28 of Charlie Hercom as they're moving up through the field. Everybody's going to be a little dicey back here as you see that 29 of Anthony Bowmaker. He's kind of swerving a little bit back and forth as they're coming through. I can definitely certainly do that. It's hard for me to tell exactly how loud to make things so I'm not drowning everything out. So any little tips I can get from the community out there is always greatly appreciated. As we're coming down off a 2, down through the backstretch now, you see Anthony Boatmaker back there in the 29 machine trying to work his way forward. Jake Baker in the number 17. He's down there on the inside lane. A few cars back there. You see him down there on the bottom right hand of your screen. As we're rolling now off of 4 down the front stretch trioval, I believe, if I'm not getting turned around here, as Matt Telder, I'm sorry, not Matt Tucker, but Matt Telder is trying to hold on to that lead there in that number 1 machine now that he's worked his way towards the front. The number 9 of Devin Ramsey down there on the inside as he went to the inside to kind of get in front of that inside lane, but it's going to be problems there, I think, for the as Devin Ramsey's getting a great run out there on that high side so far, as now Ramsey drops down there to the inside. And you'll see that throughout the night here as the race progresses, as we're on lap 4 here tonight. You'll see the drivers as they come off that top lane and see the clearing there on the inside lane. They'll drop down in front. Now, for me personally, I'm one of them drivers, I kind of stick it out there in that upper lane. I don't really drop down to that inside lane. For me, I feel like I got the better momentum up there on the high side, and I don't like really running that low lane until, I know it's coming down to almost do or die coming out of the last corners. I pretty much keep it safe, keep it up there. If I'm on that front row, I'm staying up there in that higher lane. As Matt Telder is working there down the backstretch, he's there on the inside at the 15 of Austin Hund is working there on the high side with Charlie Harcum there behind him in that number 28 B&H machine. As we take kind of a look through the field, there you see the 83. That's the 83 of Dakota Ramsdell trying to work his way up. And the 19 of Cade Green getting a little loosey-goosey coming off the corner. And we already got a couple cars a few laps down. We got Sean Gross and Chris Mayo having issues here early in this one. Luckily, it's only lap number 6, so hopefully they can get back up to speed and back into the race of things here. Not sure exactly what happened to them. Did I turn that audio up for you just a good bit there, Jamie? Hopefully everybody's hearing everything now just fine. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in here to Fleeger Farm TV on the pole, and you may be able to catch this race on Roku on the Southern Broadcasting Gaming Network once I get everything sent over to them. So be sure to check out that as well as we're rolling here tonight for the BMRL Xfinity Series. And we definitely have some sponsors we like to give a couple shout-outs to as well. So throughout the night, you'll probably hear me mention them as well. If I can just get things to cooperate here, as they're still side by side. As a couple of the sponsors here, I got them here. We got Right Turn Suck. And I'm sorry I don't have that scrolling up there in the corner. I don't know if I can add it here and it not screw things up. We'll see if I can do this. Nope, it screws things up. I'll have to mess with that after the broadcast to get everything the same size so that it all looks all right on the broadcast. I'm sorry there for Right Turn Sucks. I do not have your logo up there in the top right corner, but it will be there following this race up there for next week. So, but there you can, they Spotify under Right Turns Suck, talking everything racing, iRacing, real racing, and more. So be sure to check them out as well. And the other sponsor we have here tonight alongside this league is Bad Asphalt Racing. It's an esports league, a nonprofit organization focused on advancing youth esports in Florida. Special thanks to Coach Lori Smith and Coach Shaun Behringer. We race to honor you and your esports athletes here at BMRL. So hopefully everybody's coming out tonight and enjoying the racing so far. As we're looking here at mid-pack, just everybody seems to be holding their own right now. Not seeing too much of a racing action, I should say, as we're not seeing really too much three wide, as it does look like we got one car trying to snake his way through the middle, trying to see if I can figure out who that might be. As we got one up into the outside wall, let's keep an eye on that. That is the number 80 machine of Drew Proel, trying to work his way through the middle of the track in some areas as he's working up through. Here currently in 13th position. A couple bigger movers though. We got Jake Baker and Kevin Menapace there in the number 42 as well. They're both up 7 positions now. Jake Baker up 8 positions. Jeff Pepper's up 7. So a couple bigger movers here tonight. But our biggest mover so far is going to be this number 57 of Kevin Grettenberger. Starting on the back row, he's now up here in 15th position and up 11 spots from where he started and slowly working his way towards the front. Still a lot of racing to go as we're only on lap 10 of 120. Charlie Harcum up here in 4th, battling hard out there on that high side, just kind of minding his own, hopefully not really pushing. He's trying to push that front, but not really wanting to give up too much. As you see there, that number 15 of Ashton Hund did slide down into that bottom lane, and Matt Tedler up there on that high line now. So those two kind of strange positions there on that front row, as the 9 of Devin Ramsey is sitting there second back on that inside lane as they're coming through corner number 2 and on to the backstretch. And that inside lane definitely has a little bit of momentum, but both lanes really holding their own here so far today as they come down the backstretch here at lap 11. Through turns 3 and 4, it's going to be Jeff Peppers up here in 7th position now in that car number 48, trying to find a way up through the field here on that low side. Definitely a lot of great racing going on. These drivers doing a great job here tonight at Talladega. And I want to take a look at that number 18 machine back here of Levi McCarty. As that paint job on that car kind of gives a little bit of a retro look to me. And I don't know how many drivers might actually realize the retro look that I'm thinking of, but it would be actually a Darrell Waltrip throwback scheme in my head that I'm thinking of with that number 18. Everybody looking great as they work out of 4 back around onto the front stretch. Here on lap 12, still got many laps to go, lots of racing to go. Trying to keep an eye on. Now Kevin Grettenberger going backwards now as that top lane's getting quite the run off of 4 down here in the corner number 1. And around to the backstretch she comes. So even though that top lane kind of took a lot of momentum, you can see the gaps there on the inside lane. That's really not going to help that inside lane much, as the momentum's going to shift to that outer lane. Now you see the 38 of Connor Elliott dropping there near to the inside in that Taco Casa that car. That bright yellow and orange machine. And right in front of him is the number 17 of Jake Baker. Charlie Harcum up to 3rd now, as Matt Tedler and Austin Hund are still battling for that front position there in the front of the pack. Pack still staying pretty tight here in the early goings of the race here tonight as they come roaring off of turn number 2 out here on lap 14. Jacob Denson there in 5th position as everybody's rolling around there, making great work of the track here tonight. All right, as they come down the backstretch once again here on lap 15, we may go, if we stay green, we'll give you guys all a little surprise here. And again, with you guys being a new league, maybe you guys want to help out. We're still looking to try to find a name for our little critter here on Fligger Farm TV on the poll. And when you see him come up, maybe you guys want to try to help name him here, as we're still looking for a creative name. I haven't really been set on anything. I've had a few names drawn out to me. I just haven't really set on anything. I'm not sure exactly why. Just nothing's been catchy enough to really catch my eye and say, hey, I want to go with that. So, lap 20, we'll bring them out for a little bit of a crank it up, a little bit of heat it up here on Fligger Farm TV as they work down the backstretch. We got somebody new up there on that high side. It's Cade Green up 9 position. And Drew in at number 80. He's up there third in line on that high side as he's making some moves to get up here towards the front. As Kevin Grettenberg, he's still moving up through the field there in that number 57 machine here this evening on that inside lane, I want to say it is. Or, no, yeah, it is on that inside lane, that black and red machine. And we got a few cars out there in that black rifle paint scheme. Hopefully the paint schemes are correct. As they're still side by side in the front. Joseph Tucker, Drew Proel, and that number 80 still working that high side, trying to get up there towards that front. But there you see also that number 38 machine of Connor Elliott. He's slowly working his way towards the front. And so far, everybody up front has up 7 or 8 positions since the start of this race, as they're all battling the front row here, trying to make stuff happen. As we'll see Scott Feltz there in that 6th position. Connor Elliott in 7th. Seth Whitworth there in 8th. And we got possibly caution down here on the inside lane. We'll see as the 19 does end up going around. That's Cade Green. He's going to keep it straight. No caution out here on the speedway. That's going to definitely hurt Cade Green, and I don't think he's going to be none too happy. So they're going to throw the caution. We'll take a look here at the replay. So let's take a look at the 19 of Cade Green up here at the front. You'll kind of see, as we'll slow it down here, coming into the corner. He's up front. He's going to end up getting that right quarter panel tag by that number 39 of Joseph Tucker. As Joseph Tucker then gets back into it there, backs off. The 19 tries to swallow it up. He steals sideways, ends up coming down the track into the 11 of Scott Phelps. Scott Feltz. I'll get these names figured out here sooner or later, as we're still battling here tonight with the BMRL League and Xfinity Series. Now here we see the 19 getting loose once again as he tried to keep it off the track. Ends up getting it spun sideways. The 38 coming around him. Goes through the grass, and everybody's just scurrying around the outside. Tough break there for Cade Green. As the caution comes out here this evening. So pit road becoming a very busy place all of a sudden, as a lot of your drivers come storming down pit road. Joseph Tucker, Adam Gardner, Scott Feltz, Joseph Tucker. That's going to give the lead over to Devin Ramsey. Austin Hunn moving up towards the front. Joseph Tucker in the pits as he's rolling out here. And the race off of pit road is in front of you. Everybody comes storming off. We're here at lap 20. Back out with the pace car, though. We got Austin Hund there in second. Matt Telder there in third. So our first caution of the night. Here at lap number 20 out of 120. Everybody still lining up side by side. Lights are out on the pace car as we come out of corner number 4 now. Everybody's getting lined up, and I thought we were going to do some heated up, but we'll go ahead and do that on the restart here. Whenever they take the green flag, we'll listen to them as they get them back up to full song here on lap number 21. Be lap 22 when they take the green. Some great racing happening so far tonight for this BMRL Xfinity Series here this evening. We are glad to be here. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the racing that you see here in front of you, as we're doing everything we can to bring you the best broadcast we possibly can here tonight. Matt Telder there in 4th position. Joseph Tucker in 6th. Pace car is off. They're getting ready to come to that restart zone, and they're going to be down and away here at Daytona. One for another time. As Ramsey takes the lead there on the bottom side with the number 1 of Matt Telder there behind him, and the number 28 of Charlie Harcum there as well on that inside lane, as the 1 now gets past and shoots up to that outside lane in front of the 15 of Austin Hund. And you see some breakaway there happening there as the top side gets a little bit of a gap between a couple cars out there. And I said it's not that I help their momentum too much, but they're closing in fast as they work down the backstretch here into corner number 3 and 4. And we'll go ahead and we'll bring to you the heated up segment as they come across the line. working here out of the corner. Everybody's doing everything they can to stay bundled up here as they work off of 4 down here into the tri-oval. You got them looks like 3 teammates down there on the inside lane as they're all sporting the same paint job there. That's the 56, the 80, the 56, the 43, and the 2. All down there on that inside. If I'm looking at it correctly, I'm hoping it's the 43, or am I looking at it wrong and it's actually the 42 of Kevin Menace. Menapace. Yeah, that's Menapace there in that number 42 machine. Adam Gardner in that number 56 out there a little bit in front. Still leading this at the moment. That's going to be the number 9 of Devin Ramsey. As we got Matt Telder there on the outside with the 15 of Austin Hunn right behind him as he tries to work his way back up there towards the front. And Sean Gross and Chris Mayo still working on getting some laps back here as they're towards the back of the pack here tonight. At the moment, I mean, we still got lots of racing to go here tonight as everybody's working side by side. We got Devin Ramsey out front as he's leading, but he's got company there on that outside lane from Matt Telder as everybody is still double foul from front to back of the pack here tonight, staying nice and tight. Everybody's doing a great job here at Daytona tonight. We're just waiting to see when that 3 wide or third lane will take hold here, but I guess it's still a little early to tell as they are working off of 2 now onto the backstretch. Or I'm sorry, they're coming to the tri-oval. Drew Pruell there in that 8th spot. Out there on that high side, one of our bigger movers here this evening. But Chris Cornett, he's doing a great job, up 12 positions now from where he started the race, as he's currently sitting just outside the top 10 there in 11th. And maybe we could go, and since we got some green flag runs, we'll maybe take a look through the field as running in first. That's going to be Devin Ramsey, and to his outside is Matt Telder and that number 1 machine. Austin Hahn and the number 15 are on the outside. They're in fourth down there on the inside as the scoring portrays it at the moment is going to be that number 9 of Charlie Harcum. Austin Hahn's rolling around here in fourth tonight in that number 15. Or I'm sorry, we saw Austin Hahn. They're bouncing around positions so much here, it's hard to tell who's might be where. But in that third row back, this is 79 of Jacob Denson and Drew Puel. Hopefully I'm saying his name correctly. Anthony Bowmaker is there in the next row back as he's working his way up now as we're on board with Anthony Bowmaker down through turns 3 and 4. As they come out of 4, you'll kind of see we got a blaring evening sun here as everybody's working out of the corner down into corner number 1. Connor Elliott currently sitting in 9th, Adam Gardner in 10th, as Chris Cornett moves up here in 11th. Dakota Ramsdale, he's sitting in 12th out of Paradise. And that number 83 machine currently running that outside lane. Stephen Hines in that number 2 on that low side as we're on board with him now as they come down the back stretch. He's out of Bells, Texas. Just trying to keep that car in one piece down here on the inside. Kevin Menapace there in the outside. Levi McCarty trying to find his way towards the front as well in that number 18 machine. Seth Whitworth down 6 positions from where he started in that number 36 machine. And he just got passed by Scott Phelps. Now, Scott Phelps has got to fall back again, as Scott Phelps is floating around 16 to 17 places down from where he started tonight. So not quite the runs he's wanting so far. But then again, I've seen drivers kind of hold back and take it easy to where they can come on strong at the end. They want to try to save that equipment, save the tires, save the fuel, and be there at the end to battle it hard and heavy there in the closing laps. Paul Weckerly back here in 19th. Cade Green down 10 positions from where he started, so not quite the run he's wanting either. But again, running back here at the back, try to stay out of trouble, avoid the trouble, and just basically be patient. As we got caution out front, there's the 56 you see involved, the 22 involved, the 48 involved. We'll see who's all involved in this here in just a moment, as we got many, many drivers sitting here off the racetrack now. Oh, crap, what the heck happened here? Oh, I did it. Now I got to figure out where this went. All right, so we're going to hide this. And we got to find out where this caution started from. Things went haywire out here on the backstretch. So let's rewind it a little bit to see if we can find out what exactly happened. As they're coming through, they are 3 wide here. And that's going to be the number 38 out there of Connor Elliott. Up here on the high side. He's going to be leading the charge as he gets into that outside wall. Ends up getting loose, hits that wall, and then we see the 87 take a hard hit. Connor Elliott, he drops down, gets into the inside wall, or outside wall, I'm sorry, and we got carnage behind him. Paul Weckerly, Dakota Ramdell, Connor Elliott. There you see the 87 of Chris Cornett. And trying to see who's all torn up there. As you see Paul Weckerly there on the inside in that number 22 machine. I'm trying to catch to see who that might be out there in that Adam Gardner all tore up. Tough break for some of these drivers. All right, as the race controllers sound like they're trying to work everything out here this evening. Alrighty, so drivers running into some issues here. Pretty well early in this one here at lap 33. Everybody's getting everything situated here as I'm listening to the driver radio. Talking to race controls and everything else, trying to get everything situated here for the restart here at lap 34. Or it's going to be lap 35 when they take or 36, I guess, when they take the green flag. Or maybe not, it'll be lap 35, I guess. Lights are out on the pace car. Devin Ramsey, Matt Telder out front in that front row. in the first row, leading the race here so far this evening. Devin Ramsey and Matt Telder both have done really well this evening, holding on to the front of the lines, really controlling what they're doing, really taking strategy into play at the moment as well. But we do got some bigger movers here tonight, as Kevin Menapace and Stephen Hines are both battling for the most positions gained. But some of our biggest losers tonight, well, I shouldn't really call them losers, but some of our bigger fallbacks, unfortunately, are going to be the likes of Dakota Ramsdell, down 17 positions. Adam Gardner still sitting on pit road in that number 56 machine. He's going to be down 23 positions from where he started. So it's a tough break for Adam, as that's not quite how he wanted to start the season here in the BMRL Xfinity Series. We'll see how they want to call the stage, as I thought stage should end at lap 35. At the end of lap 35. If I'm hearing everything, it's going to be a green-white checker to the stage break. Restart zone, their green flag racing once again. As they come down across that line, it is going to be Devin Ramsey getting a nice jump there as he comes down the short chute down here in the corner number 1 here on lap 35, trying to get to the end of lap 36, as it's a green-white checker for the stage win. So at the end of lap 36 is when they will throw that caution flag once again. Unless another one comes out, then I'm sure we'll take the winner at that point. Everybody is kind of slicing and dicing at the moment, trying to figure out the best way to get up there for the stage win, as Devin Ramsey out there on that bottom side front row, hanging on, as the number 1 of Matt Telder is out there. He's got pushing from the whole lane almost, as they're coming down into the trial. They're going to go 3 wide. The 18 of Levi McCarty out there on that outside lane, trying to see if he can get a side draft to work to pull himself up along that outside lane, as they're going 3 wide now into corner number 1. The 18, the 11, and the 2 all side by side, 3 wide, as they work through the corner off a 2 down here onto the backstretch. Keep it easy there, 18, as they come down here through the backstretch. Matt Telder out front in that number 1, but Devin Ramsey's not giving up on that inside lane yet, as everybody storms down through 3 and 4. Now we're getting 2 lanes almost 3 wide, as the 80 machine of Drew Proel drops back in line. And it's going to be we're going to see here. Caution is out, and it looks like it's going to be Matt Telder to win that stage. So let's go back and look. I do believe it's going to be Matt Telder. But we'll take a look here at the finish of stage number 1. Trying to see here where that stage was thrown, as I do think it was that outside lane that got it. As it is, it's going to be Matt Telder getting that outside lane to win it for him here in stage number 1. Let's see if we can get a word with Matt Telder here this evening. Let's see if I can find him somewhere here. See if I can find his radio. Okay, I cannot move anybody, so that's going to be interesting. I cannot get into the driver radio, so that might mean that I don't know if I'll be able to do the broadcast or the interviews tonight or not. As Matt Towder comes down here on the pit road. Drew coming storming out of the pit lane as he'll take over the lead. Jacob Denson gets second off pit road as everybody's now battling it hard to see where they're at. Levi McCarty out there in that number 18 machine, currently sitting in 7th. So we have quite the shakeup after the pits as Drew is up 15 spots. Tyler Hilton, we really haven't talked too much about him yet tonight, sitting here in the 5th position, up 16 spots. Jake Baker up 12 spots there in the number 17. Levi McCarty there up 17 positions in that number 18. Kevin Pace there in 8th position, up 11 spots. Stephen Hines up 11 spots from where he started. Brandon Bowmaker, he's up in that 12th position, currently up 10 spots from where he started. And Kevin Grettenberger, he's up 9. As we're trying to see exactly where everybody is on track. Somebody getting a wave around here. Didn't quite catch who that might have been. There's a couple more cars trying to catch the pack. Matt Telder back on pit road. As everything's going well here, we're at lap 40 of 120 here so far tonight. Now, this is our third caution, but it is our stage caution. And again, I want to welcome everybody to Flicker Farm TV on the pole here tonight as we're watching the BMRL Racing League take on the Daytona Super Speedway here for their Xfinity Series. And again, if anybody's curious of that SBGN network that I got schooling down there as well, that is the Southern Broadcasting Gaming Network that I work with usually on Fridays, but have not had the pleasure this last Friday or going to be this Friday, as I got a couple weeks of off time, as I will not be home these last 2 Fridays, as last weekend I was out of town in one direction, and I'm going the opposite direction this coming Friday. So, going to enjoy some time away for Memorial Day. So that ought to be fun, and we'll be back Memorial Day night here with the BMRL Racing League, which, as we come to the green flag here in the for the complete the rest of the race, it is Drew out there in front, up 15 positions. He's going to get a decent restart here as it pulls away from the pack, but the pack's quickly going to close in on him as they come down here into corner number 1. There you see the outside lane going to work together now. That's the 79 of Jacob Denson and Charlie Harcum there in that number 28 machine. Got a little too far. There's the 18 of Eli McCartney as well on that outside lane. Coming down the backstretch. They're doing all they can to get that outside lane to move. There you see how tightly bunched up those front 3 are in that pack. There's the 3 on the bottom. The 80 of Drew. Scott Phelps in the 11. And Stephen Hines is up there on the outside lane. But that 17 is down there on the inside. Now everybody's kind of digging around. There you've seen the 80 take a drastic move out to the outside lane to get around the number 28 out of Charlie Harcum. Jacob Denson leading the race right now in that 79 machine as there is a whole hornet's nest behind him trying to chase him down here on lap 42. A little farther back though, in this little bit extra of a pack, is Matt Telder, Brandon Bromaker, Kate Green's back here as well, Austin Hund, and Devin Ramsey. Back here in at number 9, Chris Mayo. And at the 24. And at 38, you see floating around there as well. That's Connor Elliott as he's trying to find a way to be the first car 1 lap down to try to get that lucky dog here at some point tonight. As everybody doing a great job here so far this evening. Working together, trying to keep everything straight. As we're on lap 43. The 18 of Levi McCarty out there in that bottom side. He's third on the bottom, so can that that bottom lane get some movement to try to get that McCarty up to that front? Or will that outside end up pushing Drew along on that outside lane? He's got 2 great cars right behind him, the number 2 and the number 42. That's Stephen Hines and Kevin Menapace there on the outside lane, trying to work their way up towards the front as well. And I know there is a third one to that team. I believe. He's the one. That's Adam Gardner. He's the one sitting on pit road waiting on repairs. Jacob Denson out front, that number 79, still leading this race with Levi McCartney trying to chase him down in that 18 there on the inside, but right between the 2 of them, that's the 28 of Charlie Harcum. And that outside lane gets momentum, then loses it, then kind of gains it back. So it's interesting to see that this bottom lane's kind of holding together right now with more momentum than that outside lane, but outside lane will end up coming on a little stronger if they allow it to. There's a little bit of weaving out of the car, but they're all doing a great job keeping it double file. Nobody's really pushing it right now as we're only on lap 45 of 120. Charlie Holcomb right behind the 79 of Jacob Denson, who Denson is the current leader right now. So again, I apologize. I can't quite move people around yet to access their radios here tonight. So I do apologize for that. But anyways, we wouldn't be doing that under green flag racing anyways. We want to let the drivers focus as much as they can. As you see, Jacob Denson and Charlie Harcum there on that inside lane, trying to do everything they can, make everything go their way. As Steve Hines is saying, let's go number 2. That would be Stephen Hines there in the number 2. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. As Stephen Hines is pushing along, second back on that outside lane, trying to get that outside lane to work. Just unfortunate they're losing the momentum to that inside lane as there's more cars on that inside lane. But there is a pack of 4. If they can tighten it up, I have seen a pack of 4 outrun the more momentum lane of the bottom. It's just a matter of how tight can they really put the cars. You got to really have those cars as tight as you can. to minimize as much of a gap as possible and keep that draft flowing over the cars. And now the number 2 is looking to the inside of the 80, going 3 wide. He's got the 42 right behind him, so they're going to go 3 wide. They're going to put the 80 of Drew up there against that outside wall. As everybody pushes 3 wide, you almost want to say, and they got problems. It's going to be the 2 getting flipped up. Or 42, I'm sorry, getting flipped up. And there's more problems as the 80 gets spun around. That's going to be Drew in that crash. We've got Kevin involved, Cade Green, Matt Telder, Sean Cross. Sean Cross not quite having the type of night he was hoping for. It's possible Hines kind of sneaks away with one there. As behind him is all this momentum, all this craziness as they're working off of the corner. You can kind of see the 42 ends up into that outside wall. And I didn't see that the 38 kind of got picked up. I believe that was the 30. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not the 38. That is, let's see if we can get a better view. But there you see the 1 machine down there on the inside. That's the 19 as well, I believe, of Cade Green. So you got the 1 of Matt Telder as well. 29 might be the one we were looking for, but I'm unsure. Or was it the 36? It could have been the 36 there that we were looking at. Of Seth Whitworth. As we'll see here as they come through the corner. 39 is up there on the high side of the racetrack or the 36 is up there on the high side of the racetrack and just nowhere to go. Ends up catching, it was the 36. It gets picked up there on that front nose as he come around and had really nowhere to go and ends up getting into the 80 machine of Drew. Tough break for more drivers here this evening. As another big one hits here tonight. Well, there's Steve. You're wondering where that number 2 is going to be at the moment. He is out front, currently leading this race in that number 1 position here at lap number 49. It's going to be lap 50 when they come back around. 10 laps or 11 laps away from halfway. Corner Elliott coming into pit road. We got a bunch of drivers coming into pit road, and it looks like a lot of the ones that were involved are who's actually coming down pit road to try to figure out the damage repair on their machines. Here you see the 29 pretty tore up, the 36 pretty tore up, the 80 tore up. Dakota Ramsdale coming back out on track after getting some of his repairs worked on. There you see the 15 of Ashton Hunn coming back out. So we got some torn up cars here on the pit road, and that car I think is going to be done as you see the smoke just pouring out of the 22 machine of Paul Weckley, I'd have to say I do believe that machine is toast here this evening. Lights are out on the pace car. Stephen Hines is the control car there on the inside lane, and he's got a great car behind him of Charlie Harcum in that number 28, who's been doing a great job there on that inside lane. And there you see on that outside, you got a Mustang there. That's the Ford Mustang 79 of Jake and Denson. As you go out, a Chevy, 3 Fords, and then a Toyota certainly sitting in your top 5 currently. Want to give a little bit of shout out to the league sponsors here this evening, as one of them being Right Turn Suck, Spotify, talking all things iRacing, real racing, and more. And they're Green Flag Racing. We're going to head down into corner number 1 here at lap number 51. And Hines gets a great restart and takes over that first position. And now that outside lane's going to try to work back on their outside down here in the corner number 1. It's going to be the 79 out there all by himself at the moment. That's Jacob Denson. He's got to try to figure out if he's going to have help there on the outside or not. And it looks like the 57 of Keith Grettenberger up 21 spots from where he started this race, along with Levi McCarty down there in that bottom side in that number 18. He's up 18 spots from where he started. So we have quite a few drivers who really made a charge here as we come shortly to halfway, trying to find out if they can hang on up front or if we got some other faster drivers working their way to the front. Stephen Hines currently leading right now in that number 2 machine for Black Rifle Coffee. As we look back through the grid, still battling side by side. We got the 24 there of Chris Mayo. He was involved in one incident here tonight, I believe. And he's coming up to be 3rd in line on that outside lane. And here comes the 18 of Levi trying to figure out which lane he wants to be in as he moves up to that outside lane as he thinks it's going to give him the best shot. Now everybody's starting to close in. It looks like Stephen Hines is going to lose the race lead to Scott Phelps as they come off of corner number 4 down here onto the front stretch, heading into the tri-oval. There's the restart zone, and across the stripe it is going to be Stephen Hines leading that lap here at 53 of 120 now as he comes storming down here back into corner number 1. A little farther back here through the pack, there you see the 17 and 18 running side by side. Part of me that wonders if they were teammates or not. It's hard. I haven't gotten to learn which teams belong to who. As you see Sean Gross there back out on track. And he's sitting in 12th position. Connor Elliott out on track. Dakota Ramsdale out on track, trying to figure out get some laps back. We still got Charles sitting on pit road. That's the 29 of Anthony Bowmaker. I'm sure what's going on with that machine. There you see the 36 of Seth Whitworth. The 42 of Kevin Menapace. Drew still sitting in the pits. Garris Cornett sitting in the pits. There you have the 22, who, like I said, I believe was blown up, so he's going to wait for a new engine in that one. And Adam Gardner still sitting on pit road in that number 56 machine. But out front, it's still Scott. Well, now we got a battle for the lead as Stephen Hines is falling back there on the inside lane. And number 28 of Charlie Harcum out there leading on that high side. Here comes that number 11 of Scott Phelps out there on the high side as well. If they just can give that momentum down there on that inside lane a shove, though, Scott Hines could be back up there battling again. But everybody's still kind of slicing and dicing back here in the mid-pack. Not quite sure which lane they want to be in. So if you have a lane that has a gap, as we see down there on that inside lane, that's kind of why they have fallen back some as we head on to the backstretch. And the 17 needs to get up there to the 57 of Kevin Grettenberger. You know, if Baker and Grettenberger can get up there tight and still push that number 2 of Stephen Hines, and I know the old adage is you don't push the pusher. Well, there's a time to do so and a time to back off, and sometimes if you want to try to stay up front and try to keep your positions good, sometimes you got to take a little bit of a risk to push the pusher. And there we see the inside lane getting it back together. As it come out of the corner down through the tri-oval, it is still Stephen Hines leading the race. And a little farther back, at 39 of Joseph Tucker. Sitting there on the inside lane, down onto the backstretch now. Everybody still side by side, double file all the way through the pack. So we've had some great side-by-side racing here tonight. Unlike last night, we didn't quite have the pack racing we were hoping for at Indianapolis. But tonight, we definitely have it here at the BMRL Xfinity Series here on Figure Farm TV on the pole here tonight. As they come storming down through the restart zone across the line. Stephen Hines still holding on to that lead, but he's still got over half a race to go yet. To hold on to that. I don't know there, Steve Hines. Do you think you can hold on? Do you think the number 2 can hold on to win this, or is it still early to tell? I definitely don't want to bring the commentator curse, and if anybody out there that's watching, yes, that does exist. It has happened. You start talking about a driver who's doing well, and then all of a sudden, whoops, something happens. He ends up either out or way in the back. Tyler Hilton here in 11th. And Stephen Hines is our biggest mover of the race out there in front. Or no, sorry, Stephen Hines is not the biggest mover. As Kevin Grettenberger in that number 57 machine, currently second on that inside lane. He is our biggest mover, up 22 or 23 positions, depending on how they come across the line, down there on that inside lane. Because as he crosses the line right there, just like that, he is up 23 positions. As they work down here through the short stretch down towards the tri-oval. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the back stretch. I'm getting flipped around here. It is a long way to go. But Steve, hopefully he has hopefully Hines has the skill set needed, and the strategy can work out in his favor. But Kevin Grettenberger, he's really impressed me tonight. Starting way at the back, not really. I don't know if he missed qualifying or if he just didn't qualify well. And now he's up here battling for a front podium spot here tonight, as we are 2 laps away from halfway. Coming down the back stretch. Side by side, everybody's still working well together. As you see, the 57 of Grettenberg is still working with Hines down there on that inside lane. That outside lane getting a little misshuffled up there. And the inside lane also not as quite as I'd like to, or not quite as tight as I'd like to have it between 3 and 2, or second and third position. But doing a great job out here as they are getting about a 9-car breakaway from the rest of the pack. And you see some more cars back here as they're racing along. And spread out though here in the second pack of about 7 cars. All right, Darby, unfortunately, yeah, we're going to miss seeing you here tonight. Hopefully you can bring it back together. Just make sure that car's set to roll for next Monday night. And good luck with the truck series here later this week. As we got Scott Phelps there rolling in that third position. Stephen Hines now battling there on the inside, trying to get that lead back, as it's currently held on to by Charlie Harcum. But there comes Hines working hard on the bottom as they come out of 2. Side by side, there you see the 57 of Grettenberger. along with quite a few other cars working alongside on that bottom lane. A little farther back, though, you'll see that we have another pack kind of racing together. You see the 24 of Chris Mayo, Sean Gross in the number 88, Matt Telder there in the one machine. Had some problems getting caught up in that one wreck. The 19 as well was caught up in that, and he's sitting back here a little ways. That's the 19 of Cade Green. Down here into the corner number one once again, I'm glad you're enjoying it there, Tim. Hopefully we're doing a great job bringing it to you here on the Fligger Farm TV. Fligger Farm on the pole here tonight, here on Fligger Farm TV YouTube. But again, we are going to look at that Southern Broadcasting Gaming Network as we look into possibly putting a few races on the Roku as well. Currently free. If you just go join that channel on Roku, you can catch some more racing action, exciting racing action from both here at Fligger Farm TV and Noma TV. And that, once again, is Southern Broadcasting Gaming Network. And we're 3 wide. There's the number 1 of Matt Telder working his way up through the middle, putting that 17 up to the outside wall. Or I'm sorry, that's not the 17, that's the 18 of Levi McCarty up against that outside wall. Getting suckered into that sucker hole. And we got the 36 out here back out on track. That's Seth Whitworth. He's many laps down, and he's going to have to try to get out of the way of the leaders. So we'll see if he drops down there to the apron to let the leaders by as they're storming through the corner right now, coming around the coming through 3 and 4 down the short shoot through the tri-oval. And we'll see who the leader is, and it's going to be Stephen Hines leading another lap here as we are over halfway. And let's check in with our little furry friend here today for some more Heated Up. And we are back here at Daytona. We saw the number 2 of Stephen Hines go down the pit road. Not sure if he was forced there or if he's taking a pit stop here at lap 66. We'll see here as everybody's green flag racing. We're going to take a look here for what's on the pole and see if we can see what happened here with Stephen Hines. See if he just kind of pulls it down himself. Looks like he does kind of just pull it down, and then he's going to slow it down and get on the pit road. Great job there by Stephen Hines getting down the pit road speed and coming in for his green flag pit stop. So that means, as he's short pitting, to try to keep a hold of this lead, or will it bring him some problems? As we'll take a quick look at the track map to see where Hines is at in that number 11. So he's coming through. Well, I'm sorry, no. Hines is in the number 2 machine back there on the backstretch, and the leader of Scott Phelps is coming off of 3 or off of 2. So unfortunately, Hines is on the lead lap currently, but without any help. Is he going to be able to try to pull it away enough and stay ahead of a pack who is currently single file with only one car out of line? And that it looked to be the one of Matt Telder out there on the outside all by his lonesome, just trying to stay with the pack with the side draft. But that bottom lane is going to have the momentum as everybody's single file at the moment. Now we're coming back down here in the corner. On the back, Stephen Hines still, like I said, trying to hang on here. That's Chris Harcum and Kevin Grettenberger doing a great job back here as well. Grettenberger still the biggest mover of the races. He is up 22 spots with Jake Baker up 13 spots, running there right behind him in that number 17 machine. As they're working off of the corner here, coming around the front tri-oval. Everybody's single file here with 30 laps, 31, or not 30, but 51 laps to go. Cade Green back here in that number 15 or number 19 machine, right behind the 15 of Austin Hund. Austin Hund started off okay, but now he's back here towards the back of the pack as he's trying to get back up towards the front. And there you see Hines in the bottom of your screen as he's trying to scurry away from this storming freight train of a pack as it comes down the backstretch. Number 1 of Matt Telder is still out there on the outside. He hasn't been able to find a groove yet or a gap to get down there onto that inside lane, and nobody's really letting him in. As you see the front pack, everybody's just kind of single file now on that bottom lane. It looks like Telder did get in right behind the 18, I believe, by McCarty. Chris Mayo up here in that number 24 machine, sitting in 7th. And then you see up there on that high side, it is Hines. Going to be coming around. He is going to be lapped, but he's going to be the first car 1 lap down. As they work through here on lap 71. Staying up there on that high side, letting that freight train of a lower lane come by. And if he can get tucked in line, which he may be able to do if he would let the 38 around, he could possibly drop in line behind the 38. Brandon Bowmaker, he also is pitted here at lap 65 as well with Stephen Hines. Question becomes, can they hold on with that strategy? Oh, that strategy come back and bite them, as there you see Stephen Hines now drop down there to that bottom lane, right behind the 38 of Connor Elliott. Some drivers had the luck on their side so far today. Some other drivers did not have the luck on their side. As we see Dakota Ramsdale here in the number 83, working his way around, trying to stay with the pack, trying to gain a few points here in that 20th position right now, as they are down 83, or I'm sorry, not 83, but down 15 spots from where they started the race. But nobody has had as tough a night as Adam Gardner, who is still sitting on pit road in that number 56 machine, and down 23 spots as his car is all torn up. Drew still on pit road. Kevin Menapace on pit road. Here on lap 74, laps are slowly winding down here at Daytona as somebody getting a great run off the corner. That looked to be, who was that got that heck of a run? As drivers are come storming off of pit road here at lap 73. That's going to be Devin Ramsey, Matt Telder, and Austin Hund is going to be the other driver who had come in. Scott Phelps comes in. Jay Denson comes in. Charlie Harcum comes in. Jake Baker comes in. Joseph Tucker comes in. Tyler Hilton comes in. Levi McCarty comes in. Cade Green comes in this time. Busy place on pit road. Now Kevin Gartenberger out there in the lead. Chris Mayo and Sean Gross right there behind him. But there's another car that we got to keep an eye on, and that's Stephen Hines, as he is currently butt up against the bumper of that 57 machine as it comes storming through the corner out of 3 and 4. Can Hines hang on to that position for when that 57 of Grettenberger comes into pit road, which looks to be this time as he loses all his help once again as he comes around the track. Everybody else is out and running. As there you see the big group coming off of the corner. And where is Hines? Hines is coming through the corner right now himself, but I just don't know if he'll be able to catch up and get a drafting partner or not. But at least this time he's got some more distance between the leaders and himself. So if he can get a drafting partner, he might be able to get up there. And if that front pack really starts to run hard and start racing hard, maybe he'll have a shot at getting back up there. Grettenberger's in. Sean Gross is in. Chris Mayo. I'm sorry. They're coming out. And oh no, the 8 of Sean Gross gets spun around. The 24 going around, not exiting the pit road the way they were hoping. Not sure if we'll have a caution flag or not for this, as Sean Gross gets it back underway in that number 88 machine. Grettenberger coming out. Pepper's coming out. So everybody's made a pit stop. Stephen Hines being your first one at lap 65. And Brandon Bowmaker at lap 65 as well. Stephen Hines back on the lead lap, up in the 12th position as he's trying to catch back up to the pack. That is starting to race pretty hard up here with Matt Telder leading the charge in one of the packs. And the top 4 are top 3, I should say, are breaking away within and bringing along with them some lap cars. As we got the 11, the 79 leading it out front. Then the 38 and 83 are lap cars. If I'm looking, 36 and the 83, 38 and 83, they're both lap cars. That's Connor Elliott and Dakota Ramsdale. As they work off the corner, Jake Baker back here in 10th, Joseph Tucker in 11th. Sean Gross, Chris Mayo working together. In front of them is Stephen Hines and Joseph Tucker right there in front of them. So they're going to try to butt up against one another and try to push themselves up there to Jake Baker and Cade Green and Charlie Harcum. And there you see another driver in that number 6 machine. That is Brandon Bowmaker as the leaders come storming down to try to gain up there to him, with Devin Ramsey now out front in that number 1. But Devin Ramsey's in the number 9 on the bottom side. Matt Telder out there on the outside lane in that number 1. He's falling back now a little bit as that inside lane starting to prevail a little bit. This is kind of what Hines was looking for, was for him to try to get some racing action up in that front pack to try to get up there, along with other drivers like Chris Mayo, Kevin Grettenberger, who have had great runs so far tonight, but now find themselves out of the pack. As everybody's storming down the backstretch. The number 6 of Brandon Bowmaker is going to have to find a lane and stick to it to let these leaders by. As he's going to drop clear to the inside, going to force the leaders up there against that outside wall as they work through 3 and 4 and back around to the restart zone. And 3 wide almost, as it looks like the 11, I want to say, of Scott Phelps, putting it 3 wide with a 19 of Kate Green out there on his eyesight. Down below him is that lap car, though, of the 6 of Brandon Bowmaker. And in front of the 11 of Scott Phelps, that is Austin Hund in that number, in that third. Yeah, Austin Hund is in that 15 in the third position. As the 83 that you see running around there, that's the Dakota Ramsdale. He is not a placeholder. He's up there like he is, but he is not a placeholder. He's actually running back laps down in 20th position. But he's currently hanging with the leaders, giving them all a run for their money, trying to just hold on. Sorry. As we're trying to keep an eye on the leaders. I'm going to have to get myself a drink here somehow. As we're winding down, we got about 40 laps to go. With Devin Ramsey out front, Matt Telder out front now, as those two are battling hard. And out in front of these guys, that looked to be the 48 of Jeff Peppers. And the 57 of Kevin Grettenberger. So Grettenberger and Peppers is a lap down, but Grettenberger threatened to be a lap down as they work out of the corner. The freight train is a-coming as they come down through the restart zone across that front stretch tri-oval. As they storm down in the corner number 1, it's still Matt Telder holding on to that top lane and holding on to the lead. Now he's going to drop down there to the inside lane, and he's going to try to block. As that 83 kind of holds that top lane back just a little bit. That Dakota Ramsey up there in front of Jacob Denson. Denson's not done too bad. Levi McCarty hasn't really done too terrible either, as he's got that number 18 machine up here towards the front. Kind of had kind of a yo-yo day a little bit with McCarty. Devin Ramsey in second as they're working out of the corner. Jacob Denson working hard. And everybody single file right now. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the BMRL Xfinity Series as we're bringing it to you here on FFTV on the pole. And as you see, that Southern Broadcasting Gaming Network down there in the bottom right-hand corner, as we do plan on putting a few more of our racers up there on the Roku side. We might not be live streaming, but we're going to talk to our friends over there and see if we can put a few up on the channel, give him more stuff to kind of play around with, and maybe some more stuff for viewers to get interested in, as the 79 is getting one heck of a run. Look at the side draft, the run he's getting all by himself down there on the bottom, and kind of stalls out there as he gets beside the number 1 machine. And that's going to be Jacob Denson getting a great run to get up here towards the leaders to give them a great battle as they head down here in the corner 3 and 4, coming off the backstretch. And Matt Telder did not like the likes of that 79, coming hard on that bottom side, gets a little bit of a gap and drops that 1 machine down onto that low side. Now that's going to open the door for that high side, and the 19 or 70. I'm sorry, that's not the 19. That is the 9 of Devin Ramsey and the 15 of Austin Hund up there, along with the lap down machine of Brandon Bowmaker. And now Bowmaker is kind of being like that number 83 machine of Dakota Ramsdale in here in the pack, getting mixed in. So drivers might think that they're one spot ahead, and they're really not, because they've got to get around a lap car yet. And they're running side by side, so the third row back is a lap car row in everybody's way almost, except for the front 3 leaders. Or I'm sorry, the front 4 leaders. As the 1, 9, 15, and 79 all are ahead of the lap down row. And that lap down row, like we talked about, is Brandon Bowmaker and the likes of Dakota Ramsdale. And we're coming down the backstretch once again here on lap 86. Everybody's still side by side. Pretty much we have pretty steady racing. And I'm just kind of curious where Tucker is. And Tucker is there with Hines. And they got Baker right behind him in that number 17 machine. So can the 3 of them get lined up and try to stay ahead of the main racing pack as laps are slowly winding down here? As we're about 34 laps to go. Everything's working well. Everybody's really minding their own business. Minding their P's and Q's here tonight. Really great race, and haven't really had too many cautions. I think we've had maybe a max of 4 cautions so far tonight. So lots of green flag, lots of long run racing as well here around the 2.5 mile track of Daytona. Now, next week, if I saw their schedule correctly, they are actually going to be heading to Atlanta, if I saw the track correct. Jacob Denson here in the 5th position. Levi McCarty in that 6th position. Charlie Harcum in 7th. Tyler Hilton in 8th. Cade Green in 9th. Joseph Tucker in 10th. So we'll do kind of a grid walk here, as out front is Austin Hahn at number 15. Devin Ramsey's falling back there to that 2nd position there on that inside lane, but leading the 2nd lane as he comes storming off of the corner. And there you see the lap down car, 2nd in the row. That is going to be the 6th of Brandon Brody. And down there on the inside is the number 1 of Matt Telder. Right behind the 6 is in that number 11 machine. That's going to be Scott Feltz working on the high side, 3rd car back. But truthfully, only the 2nd car back who's holding a position in the top lane, as there is a car between them. Levi McCarty is 6th as it reads right now. Charlie Harcum, Tyler Hilton, Cade Green, Joseph Tucker, all in your top 10 currently. And a little farther back, we got Joseph Tucker, Stephen Hines, Jake Baker, Stephen Gross, Stephen Gross back here in this pack that has the number 23, I think I saw. That's the 88. That's the 88. Let's see if we can find him here on my scoreboard. As he's still on the lead lap, that's Sean Gross. And right behind him, that was the 83. No, 83's up here causing havoc up here. Chris Cornett in that 87. And then you got the 36 right behind him of Seth Witchworth. And we may be having some problems up here toward the front, as everybody's trying to get things. And there is Chris Mayo coming in for a pit stop here on lap 90. 30 laps to go. Matt Telder and Devin Ramsey are still battling it out. The 39, where would he be at there? Shane Haas, thank you for joining us here at Figure Farm TV on the pole here tonight with the BMRL Xfinity Series. And you're looking for the number 39 And that's going to be Joseph Tucker as he's trying to lead this second pack. Stephen Hines on pit road once again as he's getting some service done. I don't know if Stephen Hines quite has the correct strategy as everybody else up here toward the front coming through, and Steve Hines still on pit road. Chris Mayo's on his way out. Stephen Hines still sitting on pit road. Not sure what the issue is out of that number 2 machine. There he is. He's down and away. And here's the main pack. Stephen Hines unfortunately goes a lap down when he made his pit stop. And the pack is still together. Out front is Austin Hund in that first position with Matt Telder there on the bottom side leading that charge. But like I said, that outside lane, if you can keep the cars close, keep that momentum high, you can run a while out there on that high side and not really have to worry too much about that inside lane. And Talladega is another one of those tracks that works about the same way, as Talladega and Daytona are very, very similar in their design. The biggest difference between Daytona and Talladega is where that start-finish line is. Here at Daytona, it's in the middle of the trioval. All right, there's Shane. That's no problem, I don't think. There was a penalty to the number 2 machine. Yellow come out. As we see the 57 driving through the grass. All right, so some heated comments coming through from lap cars getting in the way. As yellow flag comes out, we'll see what in the world was going on. Thank you there, BMRL Network. They definitely that's a problem. We see the 57. What the heck happened? 57 ended up losing it as he tried to get it back under control after dodging whatever was in front of him. As we'll see if we can get up front here a little bit to see what in the world happened. There you see it. There's the 38. Of Connor Elliott. Up there on the high side. Matt's trying to shoot the middle. 38 kind of gets into him, ends up pulling down and getting into the 1. And there you see a couple cars sliding. The 57 ends up getting slid around. And if we go watch the 57 towards the end of this, you'll kind of see he takes a little bit of a hop through the grass. All right, take a look at this. As he comes off of 4, works through the grass, I thought I saw a little bit of a hop out of the car as he got it straightened back out. Learning how to dirt track a little bit here at Daytona. Oh, 26 laps to go here at lap 95. This is our 5th caution of the night. As we're under caution, give me one quick moment. We'll be right back. As I'm going to run and see if I can wave down one of the concession people to get me a drink. Oh, wait, here we go. Perfect. Got some tea now. We're fine to go. Jake Baker up here in 6th position, up 12 spots. Levi McCarty, now our biggest mover, up 20 spots. And at number 18 machine. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the broadcast. As we got 25 laps to go, going to be 24 this time. As the pace car comes off, it's going to be 24 laps to go when they cross the line. Green flag is out at bottom side, getting a great jump there as the number 11, Scott Phelps, on that inside lane. Looks like pit road was a very busy spot for our front runners. And unfortunately for that, I think, it didn't trap him a lap down. He's running back here. At number 2 of Scott Hines, here is running in 12th on the lead lap. The other one I know some of you out there are watching for is the 36. Unfortunately, that is Seth Whitworth. Oh, I'm sorry, not 36, but the 39. Where's the 39 at? Certain in 3rd. That's Joseph Tucker sitting there in 3rd. Out there on the high side. Now he's reading at high side as the 79 of Jacob Denson pulls down there into that inside lane. Everybody kind of minding their own P's and Q's so far, and you see the 79 knows the line's winding down. He's going to try to run both lanes around this racetrack up to the top side through the trioval. The 39 of Joseph Tucker also knows time's winding down, and there comes the 17 of Jake Baker. Upper on the high side, he's going to try to make some moves. He's currently working on the outside of Scott Phelps. They're in at number 11 as they come out of 2 down the backstretch. Everybody's super tight, trying to get that side draft to work in their favor. A lot of fast drivers here tonight. A lot of great drivers here tonight. As I've never had the pleasure of broadcasting this league before. And it looks like everybody's really got some great competition under their belt and doing a great job here at Daytona. Probably one of the better Daytona races I've had the pleasures of broadcasting here at Flaker Farm TV on the pole. As everybody's side by side, front to back. There you see the 88 of Sean Groves, Levi McCarty. Up there on the high side, there's the 28. Down there on the low side, that's Charlie Harcum. In 7th position, Brandon Bowmaker up in 8th position, up 14 positions. So the front 4 have kind of single-filed out. Front 5 have kind of single-filed out just a little bit as the 18 of Levi McCarty is trying to hang on down there on that inside. But he knows that outside lane, and we got the lap car now of the 80 machine of Drew out front here in front of the leaders. That might cause some issues here for the leaders as they come storming down here in the corner number 1. As you see, more drivers trying to get up there toward the front with 21 laps to go now. And it looks like that number 80 machine of Drew is just going to hug that outside lane and let all the faster cars go around on the bottom. Jacob Denson out front there. We see almost going to push it 3 wide. That's going to be the 28 there on the inside. The 88 in the middle. One kind of blinking in and out. We got Jake Baker here in that 3rd spot. Hopefully everybody's hearing me okay. I'm not stuttering him. I hope I'm not. We're working on here onto the backstretch. There you see the 57 looking to the outside of the 48. They're both lap down cars here in the mix. As the 48's really pushing hard on the back of the 88 machine of Sean Gross. 20 laps to go. Here they come out of corner number 4. Down the front stretch, the 39 of Joseph Tucker. Down there on the inside behind the 79 of Jacob Dean. Jake Baker and Jacob Denson out there on the high side, trying to get that high side to work. Jake Baker holding on to the lead right now as he's going to try to run both lanes as we got 19 laps to go in the BMRL Xfinity Series. Trying to block. Not always the wisest thing to do as the 88 is there. Almost was disastrous there for the front of the pack. So if I was Steven Hines, I'm sitting in 10th position. There's part of me that wonders, do I push or do I just kind of let them run out a little bit? I mean, I still got a little bit of time to get up there into the pack and give it a run. But if you're Steven Hines, how's it going to work out for him? Do you think he should start pushing yet? I don't know. But up here, we got a 6-pack of cars really fighting to keep the lead. And in that 6-pack of cars, you got 2 3-lap down cars. So I see the 48 of Jeff Peppers. I see the 36, I believe, of Seth Whitworth. There's also another one there, I thought. Is that the 83 or 87? I'm sorry. 87 is, yes, a lap down, as that's Chris Cornett, along with Dakota Ramsdell. He's a lap down. But they're all kind of intermixed in this front pack. So these leaders definitely have to try to keep an eye on everything, as there are a lot of lap down cars in this front pack as they're all trying to jostle for position. As Jake Baker out there on the outside with Jacob Denson still on his inside, working off a 2. Getting a little squirrely there as we got 17 laps to go. Only 2 lanes of racing so far. As the laps wind down, I do wonder, are we going to get a 3rd lane to form? I mean, time's winding down. It's almost getting to that point of I have to go and I have to go now. And it all depends on where you are in the pack, on when you want to really start making that move. I mean, if you're up towards the front, you can wait a little while before making your move compared to somebody in the back like Tyler Hilton or Austin Hunt even. As we got problems, everybody's scurrying. Caution is out here with 16 laps to go. And that's going to be Scott Phelps involved. Joseph Tucker is involved. Joseph Tucker was having a great run here tonight. Ends up getting caught up here in a late caution at lap 16. Now we're watching Joseph Tucker here in that number 39. Oh, wait, that's not the correct caution. Let me find the correct caution here. Sorry about that. That was a couple cautions ago. So it looks like the 48 machine, who was a lap down car, may be the cause of this. As they come working off the corner, watch that 48 kind of get up there to the 88. Tags the 88, kind of gets loose, ends up the racetrack, overcorrects, ends up coming down, tags the 39, sends him around, and collects a bunch of other cars as well. And ooh, what a hard hit there for the 11 of Scott Phelps. And that's going to end Scott Phelps' night, most likely. Now we'll see if we can go on board with Phelps. So we'll see if we can get an onboard view of Phelps. So we're on board. You'll see on that outside, that 48 kind of tagged the 38. He drops down. Thought he misses it all. but ends up getting tagged. And that's the end. And there you hear the last of the engine expire out of that number 11 machine. So that's going to be towed back. Unfortunate there for Scott Phelps here tonight in that number 11 machine. Not quite the way he's wanting to start his season. As the 39 also having some trouble here late in this one, but he's still holding on to 7th position. But look who's slowly making his way towards the front. That's going to be at number 2 of Stephen Hines. And we got Levi McCarty also up here making some big moves in that number 18 machine. So far, great racing here tonight. It's unfortunate there for some of the drivers. As now you see the likes of Scott Phelps now in the pits. Chris Mayo in the pits. Anthony Bowmaker looking for I heard him on the radio asking race control for some help. Exciting racing going on. Well, we're definitely in for a finish here tonight at Daytona International Speedway as the BMRL Xfinity Series is coming to an end here for their first race of the season. And if I can get permission to move, to get a hold of drivers' radios, we will do the interviews. But I do not know if I have the proper roll yet to move proper rule to move drivers around yet. So it's going to be 12 laps to go when they take the green flag, and as you see, the sun is going down and getting a little bit more cooler here, I would believe, as we're down to 70. Well, weather really hasn't changed any. As pace car is off, we're getting ready to take the green flag once again with the 79 of Jacob Denson being our control car coming to the flag. And he's getting a decent restart, but not. I don't know if it's going to be the restart he wants as he comes down through, finishing out the trial down here to corner number 1. At 28, looking very strong on the outside. That's Charlie Harcum. Levi McCarty down there on the inside, going to get up there to the bumper of Jacob Denson. Going to try to hold that bottom line moving forward. With 12 laps to go here in the Daytona 300. Side by side down the backstretch. Storming off, here we go. We're going to see exactly how this plays out here side by side as they come off of that trial, heading down into corner number 1, 11 laps to go. It's still Charlie Harcum out there holding on to that lead. And don't look now, but Stephen Hines, after some problems here in the race, is now back up there to that third position, fourth position, on that high side, working to see if he can work his way up there. But he's got a squirrely car right behind him. That's going to be the 19 of Cade Green, keeping it kind of squirrely there behind him. So that's not something you want to see behind in your mirror. You don't really want to see the car kind of weaving back and forth. Charlie Harcum in that third position in that 28 machine up there on that high side as the inside lane is starting to get a little bit more momentum. Coming through the trial, 10 laps to go here at Daytona. And they are working down through corner number 1 and 2. The 18 machine of Levi McCarty is up 22 positions and sitting there in the podium spot at the moment. But we know how fast things can change. And that big one, as much as we think we've seen it, we may not have. So it's just a matter of time. I know the drivers are anxious to see that checkered flag wave here tonight at Daytona, signaling the end of the Daytona 300 here tonight. As everybody's doing a great job. Side by side, here we go. At number 79, still up front, that's Jacob Denson. The 2 of Charlie Harcum there in second or first, depending on how they get the momentum coming off the corners. As we see 2 great pushers there in that second row. That's going to be the 18 of Levi McCarty and Stephen Hines in that number 2. Stephen Hines, he's doing all he can there for that team as his teammates were kind of taken out there. You see the 6 battling hard. He is a lap down car. I don't know if I'd be battling that hard, pushing it through the middle like that with 9 laps to go. He could get, or I guess the 6 is on the lead lap. I did not realize that as we're starting to single file out. As things got shuffled around, there you see the 02 of Tyler Hilton. He's currently sitting in that 5th position as the 17 of Jake Baker goes around him there on the inside, and there he comes. And whoa boy, we got some action going on the track. Everybody trying to hold it together as drivers really starting to really push hard. As we're coming to 8 laps to go, Stephen Hines dropped back to 6th position. Jake Baker in 5th. Charlie Harcum in 4th. Brendan Bowmaker there in 3rd. Levi McCarty in 2nd. Fighting there on the inside lane to keep him and Jacob Denson out front. As that number 6 machine of Brandon Bowmaker is trying to get the 17 of Jake Baker to work with them. And Stephen Hines still doing a good, strong run. Just not sure what lane he's wanting to work with right now as we come into 6 to go as they cross the stand this time. Down here in the corner, number 3 and 4, I believe, if I'm looking at everything correctly. Yes. So it'll be we're coming to 6 to go. And they're side by side, that 6 machine and the 17 getting that run up there on that high side. Austin Hahn, third in line on that high side as we're running down that back stretch down into corner 3 and 4. Or are we coming down through 1 and 2? Oh boy. 1 and 2, I'm sorry. And whoa boy, getting a little loose coming off of 2 as we make the transition onto that back stretch. Side by side, down here in the corner, number 3 and 4. Let's kind of take a gyro ride with the number 79 of Jacob Denson. You can kind of see how much banking there is as we work through the corner. Watch as they come through the triangle. We got a bank through the triangle, then we end up going back about flat almost. But there's still a slight banking, and then we hit the high banks of 1 and 2. And right here is where some of the drivers were getting it loose as we make the transition onto the backstretch. down here through the travel, and we look like we got a car making it seem like he might want to try that high side. That is the 88 of Sean Gross, who had issues, another driver who had issues early on, and now is working his way back towards the front. Side by side, everybody working together as they come back off of 2. And we got a team working together out there on that high side. That's the 6 and the 17, if I'm getting everything correct. As they come storming down here in the corner, number 3 and 4. And that's the 6 and the 17. They look like they're on the same team, so we're going to hopefully that's true. And we got trouble in the back. Somebody tried to clear themselves, and that's going to bring the caution out, and now we're going to have a green-white checker. As we come through the trial, you'll see problems involved back here in the back. We'll rewind this so you can kind of see what happened. As I'm unsure what happened, as it looks like that is the right behind the 15. Trying to see who that might be in that Toyota. As they're tight coming off the corner, he gets into the 88. That is the 02 as we're looking on now. As he goes up into that outside wall, they kind of get hooked together. Wasn't quite clear as the 88 comes back down, collects the lower side. The 19 of Kate Green gets a real good shot, along with the 83 gets slammed up into that outside wall, and I almost wonder if the 83 has blown up. We'll have to get an on-board ride with that Ember 83 to see what exactly happened there, as we see sparks coming off the front of this machine as we're on board right now of Tyler Hilton, that 02 machine, as he took the brunt of that. And like I said, I want to see Dakota Ramsdell as he had problems. And fast rewind here. Well, as they come out of 4, he'll just end up, you can't really see much in front. You just try to clear it, and just unfortunately, boom, picked up and into that outside wall. He can tell the car's broke, but he doesn't know to what extent. So we're coming out to a green-white checker here this evening. Hope everybody's in for the race here tonight, as everything's winding down here at Daytona. But I can guarantee you it is not over yet. Green-white checker here tonight at Daytona for the first race of the BMRL Xfinity Series season. Levi McCarty in that 3rd position, up 21 positions. Brandon Bowmaker up 20 positions. Stephen Hines up 13 positions in that number 2 machine. Jake Baker up 14 positions. So we got some pretty big movers, and like I said before, we had a couple tough luck awards to go out, and I'd have to say Gardner might be the contender for that one this evening, as he is down 23 positions. Didn't really get the finish he was wanting. As you see up there, he is 26th and out, so is not able to make a return and try to even get somewhere tonight. But we got some great running cars up here at the front. Some guys that have shown some real speed and talent here tonight. Up here at the front. I'm quite certain a lot of these drivers did not want to see that late caution come out. Question becomes, did the drivers put enough fuel into the cars that last pit stop to account for a green-white checker or two? Ramsey is currently sitting in 7th position in that number 9 machine. Lights are out on the pace car. Oh, looks like we got the number 2 having a couple people in here looking for a good finish for him, and that's the number 2 of Stephen Hines. Currently sitting in 8th position as of this restart. That's going to be green, white, checker if we can manage to keep it green long enough to do so. Out front, that's Jacob Denson and Brandon Bowmaker on the front row. Pace car is down. Drivers are coming to the flag. Restart zone, green flag is out and away. They're down and away once again as they cross the stripe coming towards turn number 1. That inside lane getting a pretty decent restart here as they're all bunched up and ready to roll. And can that outside lane in the 18 getting a little loose and ends up, and we are back under caution. Back under caution as Ramsey ends up getting through. But Joseph Tucker ends up getting a piece of that one along with McCarty. As McCarty has some engine problems on that machine. Oh, here we see 18. I don't know. Maybe the 6 come down to try to side draft. And that could have been a side draft gone wrong. We're going to see if we can get a better view of this. Yeah, somebody doesn't want to give me a decent view of this. See if we can catch it here as they come down into the corner. And no, that's not going to give it to me either. There you see the 6 did come down a little bit. As they come through there, the 6 comes down, ends up getting into the side of the 18. He needed to give a little bit more room to that inside lane. And then collects the 48, ends up getting collected there as well. So Jeff Pepper's involved, Tyler Hilton possibly involved. I'm trying to see who's all involved here. Levi McCarty, Connor Elliott, Jeff Peppers, Seth Whitthorne, Chris Mayo. All those drivers involved right now. All happening behind Stephen Hines there in that number 2 machine. And there you see the 18 having some problems. And some smoke billowing from that car. I don't know. If I was him, I'd probably just say, I'm done. Let the car kind of burn up. As we're heading into yet another green-white checker here this evening. And out front, it is Charlie Harcum. Jacob Denson down here on pit road. Might be doing a quick fuel stop. Stephen Hines making a quick fuel stop as he comes back out on track, starting in 6th position. Jacob Denson in that 79, he'll be out front in that number 5, in the 5th position. Devin Ramsey sitting in 4th, Austin Hund in 3rd. Jake Baker there in second, and Charlie Harcum. Here's the thing. I'm looking at these lap times of when people last pitted. Charlie Harcum pitted at lap 94. Jake Baker pitted 12 laps later, along with Austin Hund and Devin Ramsey. Now here towards the end of the race, we have Jacob Denson, Stephen Hines, and Joseph Tucker, who just pitted, along with Sean Gross. So it's interesting to see these strategies come about here tonight as everything's working out here. And again, we're back under that green-white checker here once again. I did not catch to see how many green-white checkers we get. All right, lights are out on the pace car. We're going to get ready to rock and roll once again. There you see the likes of Stephen Hines trying to get them tires warmed up a little bit. Starting in 6th place. Gonna be quite interesting to see how this all plays out as we've got another green-white checker here tonight on Player Farm TV on the pole as we're watching the BMRL Xfinity Series. And they're coming off. They're getting ready to land that pace car in the pit lane as Fred drives it off. Barney the flagman's going to grab that green flag, and we're going to be down and away for yet another green-white attempt here tonight. Green flag is down and away, and somebody missed a shift there, and it's going to check that outside lane up. And that's going to spell trouble for that outside lane as they all stack up there on the restart. Now they get rolling and trying to gain some speed and get back up there to fight for that lead. As the 15 now gets room, he's going to drop up there onto that high side. That's Austin Hund. And getting a little pushy there on that outside lane. As everybody wants to give a little bit. And there we go, another caution, and that's going to take out a bunch of people. Where's the number 2? I'm not seeing him. As Stephen Hines is involved backwards now, spinning down through the infield. We got another green-white attempt here tonight. Oh, let's go back and look at this one. There you see, just a little bit extra pushing. The 17 kind of dips down, ends up coming back up across the nose of the 9. Steve has nowhere to go, gets caught up there in a sandwich on that high side. The 39 gets walloped and ends up airborne for a quick moment. The 28 getting spun around kind of like a top. There you see Jake Baker going down across the track. And there's just chaos everywhere as everybody's working to try to get through. So that's going to unfortunately end some drivers' nights right there as we try to get everything under control here yet again and back underway as we still have yet to take the white flag. But I do think the next flag will end the race. If anybody out there that's watching the finish of this race, and if you know the format, please let me know. Do you think is it top out at 3 green white checkers? So does that mean does the next flag end this race? As we see Joseph Tucker coming into pit road, Devin Ramsey out there in front in that number 9, and the 79 of Jacob Denson in front row, as well as our lead control car. Austin Hund sitting here in third with Chris Mayo and Tyler Hilton there and a little farther back. And we got a lot of drivers like Joseph Tucker, Sean Gross, Jake Baker, Charlie Harcum, and Stephen Hines all on pit road. And that is a tough night here for that team, Stephen Hines and others, as they have kind of not had the night they were wanting for that. That coffee, that Black Eagle coffee, or Black Rifle coffee. I'm sorry, Black Rifle coffee. Oh, currently out on track. We got the top 3 still running. That's Jacob Denson, Devin Ramsey, Austin Hund. Everybody else kind of is sitting in the pits. Now, the question is, can any of them get out before they come back around and put them a lap down? All right, so next flag will end the race. Thank you for confirming that there, Shane. Lots of lap down drivers here on the front. Joseph Tucker is out. Sean Gross is coming out. Jake Baker coming out, so they're going to try to regain the pack. Do their cars have enough to battle up here? They're going to have to get around these lap cars. They're currently coming down the backstretch. Sean Gross, Jake Baker, Chris Mayo lap down. Charlie Harcum lap down. Stephen Hines lap down now. Joseph Tucker sitting in fourth. Looks like he's wanting to drive half a modified. They can really start to push now as that engine can stay a little cooler. There's not a lot there to really inhibit the airflow to the engine. He won't do good out front and leading, but he can definitely certainly push somebody to the end. As you see him come working his way up through the pack as he got to get around the lap cars. Sean Gross got to do the same along with Jake Baker. So next flag will end the race here tonight at Daytona for the BMRL Xfinity Series. We'll see how Joseph Tucker in his half a modified runs there on that outside lane as they come to the restart zone and get underway. And we'll see if Tucker can somehow get tucked up there to the 9 and help push him forward. But it doesn't look like he quite has the momentum there as he's falling back now. That outside lane, Joseph Tucker being kind of a little bit of a hindrance. Now he's getting up there. And everybody's going to kind of leave him as he dips down there to that inside lane. And oh no. Oh boy. Getting a little touchy there with the 39 and the 9 as they come out of 2 down the backstretch. Hang on to it. There you're 3 wide. Hang on. Don't squeeze. Don't squeeze. You guys are squeezing there down the backstretch. Give each other room. Coming down into corner number 3. 3 wide once again here as the 88 of Sean Gross is really pushing his way forward and trying to get up there to lead this thing. And there you see the 79 really putting it to it. They're through the Geico restart zone. Now they are on the final lap, 3 wide again, and they are starting to wreck. Chaos happening behind the leaders. We're going to stay right here with the leaders as they are fighting at everything they got to stick together. As Sean Gross in that number 88 and Devin Ramsey in that number 9 are chasing down the 79 of Jacob Denson, sorry. And there goes Sean wait a minute, who went around there? That was Ramsey going around. As Sean Gross now is fighting, and it looks like he's going to get tapped from the 24, hanging on to it. And Jacob Denson, he kind of likes what he's seen in the rearview mirror. Everybody battling it out. And Tucker in that half a modified looks like he might come along and take second place. And what a beat-up car to take second place away here this evening as they come across the checkered flag here tonight. What a run there from Jacob Denson here tonight. Tucker taking that second place. Sean Gross up 12 positions. Jake Baker up 14 positions. Once again, I think our tough luck award has to go to Adam Gardner and that number 23 machine here, or I'm sorry, in that number 56 machine, finishing 23 laps down. Or 23 positions down from where he started, but also many laps down here tonight. Alrighty, so we're gonna... Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to get driver interviews tonight, and I apologize for that, but our winner tonight is Jacob Denson. And that number 79 machine as he is celebrating it here. If we can go and get our things figured out, we'll try to get with him during the race next week to talk about his win here at Daytona. A well-deserving win there from Jacob Denson, putting that 79 machine in the victory lane here this evening for the BMRL Xfinity Series. Now, once again, sorry, I know this looks a little weird and a little bad here tonight, and I'm sorry about that, but what a fun race we had tonight here at Daytona Super Speedway for the BMRL Xfinity Series for the first time out for Flinger Farm TV here at Flinger Farm TV on the pole here with the BMRL Xfinity Series and the BMRL Racing League. We want to wish everybody a great night and hope everybody is going to enjoy their holiday weekend that's coming up. It is Memorial Day weekend here in the States. I know other areas might call it Remembrance Day in other parts of the world, but here in the States, we call it Memorial Day, and we will be celebrating that next week. So if I am broadcasting, be sure to tune into them as I will have something very special planned for our anthem and stuff. So please be sure to check Flinger Farm TV out next week as we get things situated. And again, sorry that we don't have the ability quite yet to get to. Well, wait, we'll see if we. Oh, unfortunately, I do not have a way to move people. So give me one moment. We're going to jump in here and we will try to get interviews. So bear with me here. Good evening, gentlemen. If I can get a little bit of cooperation here. Unfortunately, I can't move you one by one into the broadcast booth. I don't have that permission yet, but this is Adam up in the booth. And we'll start off with our third place finisher here tonight. Sean, how do you think your night went?
Well, we started off kind of rough. Had an incident on pit road at the beginning of the race, but we managed to fight our way back on the lead lap there. My teammates did a great job there, and we made our way back up there, and we were fighting for the win there at the end. So I think we ended up pretty good.
Well, you had to avoid a lot of chaos coming to that green checkered flag here tonight. Ended up using all three green white checkers to get to the end. Kind of take us through your thoughts on those final laps.
Well, that last restart, I really didn't know what I had, so it was pin it and hold on for the best. So I think we did all we could there.
Well, it definitely was a fun race to watch tonight. Everybody pretty much waited till the end to start messing their cars up, but it was, I mean, there might have been a few incidents here and there, but congrats on third place. Who's your sponsors that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Biggest shout out would be to Chris Mayo for putting all this on for us, and my teammates there at Beard Motorsports.
Congrats again for that third place, and hopefully you can take some of this in. I think you guys are at Atlanta next Monday for the Memorial Day race, so be looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, moving on here to our second place finisher, Joseph Tucker. How's it going tonight?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Oh, it's going.
I'm still trying to catch my breath.
What was up with driving a half a modified for the finish? I mean, you pulled off second, but I mean, the front end of your car looked like it wanted to be more of a modified than a stock car.
You know, we hit that last green white, man, after that car came down off that one wreck and just took the whole front of my car off. And I came off that and I was like, you know, I'm going in. If it's not a lot of required to get rid of the meatballs, I'm just going to run it. If at all, I'll get a top 8 because there's only 8 cars on the lead track. So just run it. And then just the luck of it, man. The luck of it.
Well, I mean, in racing, you have skill, but you also got to have that luck factor involved.
That's super speedway. It's all luck anymore.
That is true. You get onto these drafting tracks, and I mean, it's not just the super speedways anymore either. It's if you're in on a drafting track, that's pretty much what it turns out to be.
Well, luckily, you know, luck went in our favor, so I can't be mad. It was way more than I thought for a finish, but I'll take it.
Especially, what a way to start the season, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you have sponsors or teammates or anybody you want to thank for helping you get into that second podium position here tonight?
Absolutely, brother. You know, I got to thank Mayo. He's putting on a good race, good race control, good admin team from what I've seen so far. I look forward to seeing what happens throughout the rest of the season. Sponsor-wise, I got to thank Chassis Tucker Realty. You've seen it on the car all night. Mission 22, near and dear to my heart as a veteran. My son, Michael Tucker, for painting the car. Couldn't have done it without a little bit of paint splashed on it, even though there wasn't much paint at the end. Hostile Intent Racing and Black Sheep Racing.
Well, you got to have paint to rub off at the first place, right?
We just take the whole body panel.
And what body panels are left, you take them down to that sheet metal, right?
Yeah, that's auction pieces, man. You got to make money off it.
All right. Well, hopefully you can take some of what you learned here at Daytona, work with you at the next drafting track of Atlanta, as I think Atlanta is another drafting track. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yes, sir.
So you have a great night, and we'll hopefully we'll see you trying to get another podium finish next week.
Absolutely, brother.
All right, and that's Joseph Tucker, our second place finisher. Now we'll move on to our air in victory lane is Jacob Denson. Jacob, take us through your night. You kind of had you come up 8 positions from where you started, had to avoid some chaos throughout the night, and then you kind of held on to the front. Were you watching that rearview mirror through them last laps at all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I knew on that restart that if I got out to too big of a lead, they'd just swallow me up. So I was playing a little bit of the cat and mouse game. Was able to keep it out front. That was a pretty wild race, pretty long race to be honest with you. And I think the other two guys said something about a little bit of luck involved. I definitely would take that, but had some good help from teammates tonight. Pretty proud of what we were able to do.
Well, coming through that last corner, or was it off of 2? Was it off of 2 or 4? I can't remember which corner.
It was off of 2.
It was off of 2.
Yeah.
You had to have known you had it whenever you seen everybody kind of start piling up.
Oh yeah, that seeing that in the rear view was a pretty good feeling. And honestly, because before that green white checkered, the first one, I was running good, and when that caution came out, I had to pit for fuel. And I think a little bit of that luck came in there because it put me in a spot where when the big wreck happened on the backstretch, I was on the inside of everything and was able to avoid it.
You definitely avoided quite a bit here tonight as you were working through the pack. And I mean, still being super speedway, running 120 laps, only 5 cautions for incidents, as there's 6 recorded, but one of them was your stage break.
Yep. It felt like more. It definitely felt like more.
Well, you only had 6. I mean, you guys definitely put on a show, definitely put on a long green flag run here. And we look forward to being back here in the future. And we'll see how next week goes with the timing of the 2 leagues that I have going on. And hopefully we can catch everything again as we move into Atlanta.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Atlanta, like you said, is another speedway track. Drafting, it's a little more emphasis on the tires, I feel like. So there's a little bit of strategy there, depending on how long the green flag runs go. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I would have to agree with my time that I've spent trying to turn laps in Atlanta. There is definitely tire wear there that you got to kind of address a little bit, but it's still in some ways, I feel like Atlanta is kind of like you take the short track and you mix it with a little bit of super speedway of like Daytona and Talladega, and you mesh the two, and you got to really judge what you're doing on that car setup.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, but it was a great night of racing. Who's your sponsors and things you would like to thank for getting you the victory here tonight?
Definitely want to thank the team, B&H Racing, BNHIT, Phelps Media. Also check out Little Miami Brewing. They're on the hood of the car. They're a little brewery up in Cincinnati, Ohio. Family owned, great restaurant. Thank you to the league, BMRL, putting on a good show so far. We like what we see.
Well, it definitely was good tonight. I know a lot of side-by-side racing. There was a couple 3 wides, and I've seen 3 wides go good. I've seen 3 wides go bad, and we kind of saw it tonight. Especially as the laps winded down, everybody's fighting for positions, really trying to squeeze every inch of side draft out of the cars. And sometimes that side draft, trying to get that side draft, it might not be worth it.
Yep.
You have a great night. Enjoy your holiday weekend coming up. I'm not sure when the truck series is. I don't know if you run into truck series, but if you do, good luck in that. And we'll hopefully see you Monday or on Memorial Day for the Atlanta race.
Yes, sir. I'll be here. I appreciate it, man.
All righty. You have a great night and great weekend.
You too.
All right. So that was Jacob Denson. So we did get our interviews, just a little bit of a little different way than what I was looking for, but we definitely got it handled. So we want to thank everybody tonight for coming out, joining us here at Playground Farm TV. And we look forward to next week, and we'll have everything set and ready to roll a little quicker. We might actually take the time to schedule everything as well, so everything can just go from one to the other, and it's just a matter of a couple clicks. So we'll try to streamline everything as much as we can to make sure that we can bring all the viewers the best racing possible, as we'll have the Roughneck Racing prior to this. And then we got the BMRL Xfinity series here. So we'll have Gen 6 cars come up with the Roughneck, and then we got the Xfinity series here with BMRL. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a fun night of racing. So again, thank you everybody for coming out. We appreciate it, and we look forward to more. Stay tuned. And if you liked what you saw here tonight, please make sure you like and subscribe, and because we'll have a lot more racing for you in the future. Thank you.